topic today is, are you being strategic with your product? And our speaker is Ardita. Before we start off with our session today, we just want to let you know some of the other activities happening around in Toronto, some of the meetups and the communities around here, which you can join. Also, our next speaker session is going to be on March 27th, and our speaker is going to be Troy Magnus. Sorry in case if I'm not pronouncing it correctly. Is it correct?
Magnus, yeah.
Magnus, yeah. I would like to introduce Ardita. Ardita is a passionate agile coach, trainer, change agent, and consultant in Toronto area. I think Cheesy can introduce her better than I do, but I will continue. She brings more than 15 years of experience in software development, and she has been working with management as well as development teams by applying lean and agile techniques in improving or streamlining their software development efforts. Product strategy and product management is one of the areas where Ardita likes to focus her coaching with business partners. Please welcome Ardita.
Thank you, Yasmin. And hi, everyone. Give me 1 second for me to move presentation. Are we good? Should show up magically. There it is. Well, first of all, thanks for being here today. And thank you, Lan, the Lean and Agile Network team, for inviting me and for having this opportunity to speak with you. The room is big because usually a lot of people sign up. You can feel free to stay close and we can all get together and network. Because that is one of the things that these meetups offer, right? Networking and getting to know each other. How many of you here work on product development? Okay. The rest, is it on software, like is more on the technical side? I'm trying to get where you come from so I can speak with you on what you need and what makes sense for you and what might be more useful and helpful for you. So is it software? Not cheap. I know it.
Hey. Software and hardware.
Software and hardware, very good. Yeah?
Product development, product management, or same?
I would say it's the same because they are together. Interesting question. Okay, well, I have been a developer and I have moved on into program management and product management and as a Scrum Master and as a coach. And as Yasmin said, I have coached development teams, and currently I am coaching senior leadership in business areas. I'm at one of the banks, doesn't matter, but I'm in one of the banks, and we are trying to bring the business agility into their every day-to-day practices and getting these concepts into these levels. This is to say that agility is not only on team level, it can go up and it can bring those conversations into all layers. Probably that's me. This is me in Halifax. I was dressed like one of the soldiers there. I like traveling and I like going around Canada and the world. If you want to know more about me, we can talk after. So I'll skip this part. Strategic. This is what the vocabularies online say about what it means, what the word strategic means. So if you look at it, it's about looking on the long term and overall aims. So it's not about something short, something that we need to do right here, right now. So think about it. If there's something urgent, if a production issue or something, we are not talking about how to solve those quickly. although there's a need to think about those, even those on a strategic way if we can, but usually those are just fix the problem, move on, and then we can think deeper. So this requires a little deeper conversation, a deeper sense into thinking and looking into what should we do and decisions to make. So just to set a little bit the tone, we're looking for not times when you are rushing, right? We're looking for those times when you are sitting and you are thinking and you are looking holistically into what should we do, what is the best way for us to move forward. If you need a strategy right here, right now, very quickly, I suggest you go to this website. They generate strategies with all the buzzwords that you need. If you don't like what you see, hit refresh, it brings you a new one. So this is the fast way to do strategy. Okay?
Is that how most banks do it?
Sometimes it feels like. Right? Sometimes it feels like you just need to have all the buzzwords together in a sentence that we get communication people to put it so it reads well, and then we call that strategy. So if that website gives you those solutions, if that's what you need, we're done, session over, you're set. If you don't need that, if you need something a little bit more meaningful and more mindful and you really need to spend time, let's look into some examples and then we're going to talk a little bit more about it. Here it is an example from IKEA. It's an interesting one because it talks about just concepts, the IKEA concepts, right? It brings in the IKEA concepts, which are about providing a range of choices, make it affordable, right? And be sustainable with quality and design. By the way, we don't do that only with what we do that on everything, right? It is on all the areas, on all the internal ways of how IKEA operates. So that's an interesting strategy that they have brought not just the clients together, but even internal, their employees together. Here is another one. Can you guess which company is this?
Shopify.
Amazon.
Shopify.
Amazon. Yeah. No, Amazon. You had it. Don't change your mind. Trust your gut feeling. You're good. So it is Amazon. This was the very first one that they had. Now, they have evolved much more from this, right? They have added like the cloud, they have added Prime, they have added TVs, they have added so many things into this. And what they did is the core stays still true for them, but they have added probably channels and probably different ways. So strategies are things that keep you focused and are true for a longer period of time and help you stay, make the decisions around those as like the guardrails for you to do. Yeah, you have a question? Yeah.
This could also be interpreted as a mission.
Mission?
What's the difference?
Mission is more like, so is the difference between mission and vision. Can you hold that? Because I have some examples later. How about this one? What do you think this is? Tesla. Yeah. Is this a strategy?
This is mission.
This is a plan. This is really a plan. But from Elon Musk's point of view, yeah, I'm going to do it. This is my strategy. Well, truly it's a plan. It is not really a strategy because it is a plan on let's do this, let's do that, and then let's do that. Well, what happens when one of them doesn't go the way you planned, right? It doesn't help you be innovative, creative within those to achieve a certain higher purpose. Here it is a bad strategy when we're talking also about planning. These are plans. These don't help you be strategic. These don't help you look into opportunities and principles that you want to bring together. So if we have to put a definition around strategy, it is fundamentally a hypothesis of what could work. Because you are looking for a long term. You are looking into a 2-year, 5-year or something. So it is a hypothesis, you cannot be sure. But it is a hypothesis that enables you to evolve, to design, to make decisions around achieving that, around getting there. And I put the picture because it is bets that we make. Everything in the strategy, everything that we make decisions on, should we invest here, should we invest there, should we do this, should we try that, should we experiment this? Those are all bets. And depending on how many bets we have and how much we bet for everything, those are the things that are the feedback loops that we call in Agile that come back to us and tell us, are we on the right path? Are we going to achieve the strategy that we're looking for? To build a strategy, we need these conditions, and mission is sort of one of them, right? So we need a vision. You need a high level and an ultimate view of where you think your company will be, right? Say, for example, we want to be a digital bank. It's not a good vision because all the banks are now having the same vision. What does differentiate you, right? It's not a good differentiator, it's not a good vision. Maybe you need to take a step back and think a little bit more, how do you want to make yourself? Just last week I was talking with someone from a green bank saying, oh, we want to be a digital bank. I'm like, interesting, because the blue bank wants to be a digital bank too. So what are we talking here? What is that? That seems like to be the need for catching up with the times and fixing problems that you should have fixed years ago, rather than a strategy. You need to understand the challenge. What are the goals that you have, and what are you trying to achieve, right? And then you need a target condition. Well, how does that look like when we are there? Which brings you back into the current state. Who is familiar with the coaching kata? Yeah, some of you. Do you see similarities? Right? You set the goal, you come back to current conditions, and then you decide what to do next. So all of them kind of fit together and bring together a sense of where to start, where to look, how to pull all of this together, and how to move forward. Melissa Perry brought together all of this into a product strategy canvas. She pulls them together, and she has an example there for Uber. For example, the vision of Uber is that in 10 years, Uber will be the cheaper alternative to owning a car or taking public transportation, right? That was the vision. If that is Uber's vision, then these are the challenges and the target condition, and this is how to help you go through creating your strategy. I'm going to stop for a second. Is this helpful so far? Is it making sense? Questions? I don't want to just go through slides. Okay. I'm getting. Okay.
Back up one slide, please.
Yes. Go back.
Yeah. That's a very good illustration. No, sorry. One in front. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And when I look at this, part what occurs to me is that sounds a lot like a plan. We were just saying before that plans and strategies are different.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like a plan, because what she's trying to do here is to create a set of tools.
In the plan there is the first line.
Mm-hmm.
Challenge the target's current state. Those would also all appear if you're saying what's my plan.
Uh-huh. So the plan, to say the target condition is have at least one driver at every 50 people in each of the cities by January, and while currently we have one in for 300 people.
Mm-hmm.
The plan, you can achieve it in many different ways,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it is not telling you how to achieve that, the plan. It is telling you what are the numbers, or what are some of the outcomes that you want to see to call yourself successful toward that vision. But you can do that in many ways. In a city, you might do it in priority cars. In a city, you might do it by
So you're seeing a distinction in the how versus what kind of question?
true.
Okay, thank you.
So this is more like an outcome driven versus an output driven how to do it. It's the outcome thinking that comes in place.
I really see the challenge there as the hypothesis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In order to achieve our vision, we need to reduce the wait time in key cities to less than 5 minutes by January. Yes. Because we believe, if you put that, we believe that, it becomes an hypothesis. So it is a set of tools, it is a set of practices that you need together to help you achieve that. Okay. What do I look for when I build a strategy? Well, these are my favorite cases that I want to look for. And these are considered when we build that hypothesis. I want to consider all of these because in a certain way we need to look into all the things around that rather than just one thing, right? And all of these influence our decisions and gives us data into how to move forward. So market, customer, competition, and business. So let's talk a little bit about each of them. Here it is a model about market strategy. Comes from BCG Consulting. They look at the market into, by the way, every consultancy has a quadrant, right? So we're going to look into some quadrants today. It brings together the market share and market growth rate. And between all of these, you can look either your product, if you are a small company and you have only one product, and you can look your product and the features within your product. Or if you are a big company and you have many products, you can start looking into all of these products where they are. Dog is a product or features in a product that belong into low growth on rate and low growth on market share. Example here can be, for example, old versions of a software that still require maintenance and you cannot remove them, however you still have to support them, right? Question mark is products or features that you are testing. You don't know if they're going to become stars or dogs, but you are in that in between and you still want to invest a little more to see what's coming out of them. But you want to be smart into that investment, right? You don't want to invest too much because then they become dogs. You don't want too many dogs in your product or in your company, in your product portfolio. Stars are the ones that they make the difference for you, right? They are the ones that the flagship for your organization in your market. They bring the rates high, they get your market shares. That's what people know you the most, right? That's where they are. That's why there's a stars. And then it's the cash cow. Things that we have done, they bring money, we don't grow too much on those, but they have high market share. So by looking into these, you can look into what kind of market strategy are we looking for and make some decisions into either kill a certain feature or product or invest a little more to know where we want to go or keep those stars strong in the market because they are good. And then, cash cows are always good, right? But you probably want to move a little bit forward and be more innovative and creative in your portfolio. So this is a market strategy. On the client side, this is the kind of model. Have you seen this before? I know you two have. So Kano model is there to prove that not everything that you build needs to be built with full intensity and need full investments. You need to learn and to be smart and strategic on how much do you want to invest in certain things. it creates that you have the satisfaction of the customer, and the other axe is about the presence of the product or the feature in the hands of the customer, right? You can see that you have the bottom line there that is about mandatory. So these are mandatory features that make your product able to even enter in the market. Without these features, you cannot even exist in the market. For example, if a car doesn't have a steering wheel, it's not a car. Or if the car doesn't have wheels to move, it's not a car, right? So there are certain things that if you don't have those, you cannot call yourself, I'm in the market of cars. And when the clients come to buy your product, expect those to be there. If those are not there, the dissatisfaction goes really down, right? I'm not coming here to buy a car and I'm going to pay special for 4 tires. I expect them to be there. The other line is about performance. This is where competition comes. This is where, for example, we have the same feature, but mine performs better than competition in the market. Mine is more high quality, it is better, it offers an easier user experience and all of that. So this is where performance comes in place in the eyes of the customer. And then there is the delights. Delights are features or products that the customer doesn't know yet that they want, but when they see them, they love them. And they switch and they come and they buy them just because of that. Example, when cars started having the cup holder, people actually bought cars just because it had a cup holder. The other cars probably had much better features, but didn't have a cup holder. Now, the problem with the delighters is that very quickly the competition catches up. So you need to be really strategic when you bring these features in the market. You know that probably the competition is right behind you, and you have a very short window to dominate the market on those. So you really need your sales, your marketing, everything behind, like a machine to support and get most shares in the market to make this useful and get most of the customers to use your product because the competition is coming very quickly. Very quickly, those features might become either performance or even a mandatory, like the cup holder. Right now, cup holder is a mandatory. It used to be there, now it's all the way here. So these are now specific ways to not only decide that we're going to build a delight feature or a delight product, but also how we're going to manage to get most of the market to move to the star part of that market share, right? Because we want them to be our stars. Making sense? Connecting? Okay. The other one is the competitive strategy. This is where now we are looking with competitors. Michael Porter has this other quadrant. And this is a well-respected model in the industry when it comes to competitive strategy. And it's looking into 2 areas. It's looking into cost and focus. And you can see it is about the leadership and the differentiators. To give examples there, on the cost side, you are leading by cost reduction. This is where now you offer the same, but yours is cheaper, so you increase in volume, right? Because now more people buy your service. While the differentiator, you probably have less volume and you have a higher price, but you differentiate yourself because your product is higher quality, like watches that have diamond stones, right? Like real diamond stones. So these are the products now where you are differentiating yourself compared to what you offer. On the bottom one, the 2 bottom ones, so you have cost focus and differentiator focus. We're looking now into a focused area for this. Think of it as like cost focus probably, or let's look at differentiator focus. a grocery store that is only for vegans. You have a focused group of people, vegans, and you differentiate your food there. While these people can probably have a cost, a cheaper one in another store, but have only a small section there and can buy something there. In your store, they have more quality, more opportunities, more options, more, right? So you are now making a competitive strategy into where do you want to be and how do you position yourself in here. There is way more to play into competitive analysis and things that you need to look. You need to look in social media, you need to look in marketing, you need to look into data that you get from customers' behaviors. There's so much. So if you want your AI, your machine learning, and all those fancy things that we're building, this is where you want them to bring their data. Because this is now you start understanding your customer behaviors, you start understanding what they're doing. You probably even get data that you don't have, but data that are offered publicly that you want to start comparing now how your clients are behaving and how they behave in other areas. So this is really deep, this is really rich. This is where you need the scientists behind the data to collect all of that. The last one is the business strategy. I'm going to drive to word media. You're going to learn something. Okay, 3 people now. More 4. You're going to learn something new. It's going to feel like it just opened the door to something amazing. I really suggest you dig more into Wordly Maps because are really amazing. I have felt like I was in love when I discovered them. I was in love for a long time. I couldn't stop reading about them. I couldn't stop thinking like that. It's been like 4 years ago. I'm not that much in love anymore, but I still find them very useful. So, homework. If you want to know more about this, Wordly Maps are really useful. What he brings together, Simon Wardley, it is called Wordly Maps because it's from Simon Wardley. He was the CEO of a company that did digital printing a long time ago. And he said, I was trying to figure out how things how would I organize my company in order to be strategic and to make the right decisions. And he started looking into different methods and different quadrants and different things, but he was not still convinced about it. So he came across the Sun Tzu, which is the author of the Art of War, if you are familiar with it. And he started connecting his ideas there with his business needs. And he used the inner circle comes from Sun Tzu, from Art of War, and he started building that around the business to give sense to himself, right? So, for the war, he said you need a purpose, you need the landscape, the climate, doctrine, and leadership. So the purpose is, well, why are we fighting? What is the need for this attack that we're making, all of that. The landscape and the climate help the troops to understand where they are. Are they in a mountain? Are they close to the sea? Is there a river? Is it getting cold? What is, right? So all understanding your landscape, where you are. Doctrine is about principles. What are your principles? If you read more on this, he has like 40 principles, but things that are, when he brings them into the business, things that are focused on client, transparency, good communication. So things that really connect with our values when it comes to agile development. But it's a long list of them. And then leadership is how we lead, how we take the lead into, not just by name, just the leaders, but on all levels into an execution of this. So he put that together and he said, well, initially we need to decide the game. What is our game when it comes to business strategy and to making decisions? And then we observe, and then we orient, make a little bit left, a little bit right, and then we decide and we act. There are 2 important things that he talks about is the why of purpose and the why of movement. Usually we would say, oh, why, and we always go back to the purpose only. That is good, because that helps us with focusing and understanding. But it's also the why of movement. Very often we have more than one option, right? We say why, oh, it's about achieving this. Okay, you can do here, this, that. Why are we choosing this over this? So there are now movements that we're going to make. We're going to move this way or this way. So that is also a very interesting element that we need to consider in our decisions that we make. I have a short video. Doesn't sound play. I'm going to forgot to test it earlier. Can you give me 1 second and see if that works? Okay. Let me give me 1 sec. How did I miss it? Sorry. I had it all lined up here, but so it's a short video of Simon Wardley, talking a little bit about how he puts together the mapping versus the story of a strategy. Oh, I don't have internet here, that's why. Okay. Do you have power? No? Okay. You know what? We're going to skip that then. I'm going to talk about it. That's okay. So what he says there, he takes the example of Spartans attacking, what is it? Athens? Yes. And he says, yeah, it's great. We have a little map of you go here, they're going to move there, then you go there, and they are stuck, and we kill them, right? While the others were like, yeah, we're strong, we have a SWOT model. The strategy, our strengths, our, like, what is it? The strengths, weaknesses, opportunities. Yeah. So, which one would you trust one night before the fight? Would you trust having a map and knowing where to attack and knowing the terrain and knowing the landscape and understanding all of that and knowing that also you have people that are with you? Or a SWOT strategy? Yeah, my strengths are this, that's fine. So mapping always helps. He wants to make the point that when it comes to business strategy, we always tell stories and we always read those online strategies, but it usually people want to see a map. Map is better than just a story because map gives people also ideas for movement. We go into not just the why, but also why we're moving here versus there. There is a lot more to listen from him. There are some videos that he has online, for example, how to pass the river, feeling the rocks. Talks a lot about this, but a good one. Like good strategies and good thinking into how to look into business. One of the things that he brings is the concept of evolution of a product and evolution of a business. And he looks into those 4 stages that a product evolves to, which are genesis, custom built, product and rental, and commodity. Genesis, where is usually ideas. We are still in trying things. We still don't know if this is going to work. We are still very, very agile there, like being startup, try things. Custom build is where usually all the products, after you have a product, one way for startups to scale is by doing custom build. You have the same product, but one customer needs just a little bit different, and the other one just a little bit different. So you start in building a little bit of customization for product for customers and getting in the market in a way that enables you to stay there, but is still custom built. And then you have this product and rental. You are now more mature into your product. You have a good sense of how to manage customizations. Probably you have less customizations. You are in a product growth, right? And then you have commodity, where now you are a service, you are operational. This is where operational excellence comes in place. And you are looking more for easier, faster, cheaper, more leaner ways of doing. If you think about the practices that we put in place, you have Agile in Genesis, you have Lean in the middle, and then you have Lean Six Sigma all the way to the end, right? Lean Six Sigma is around operational. So this is another point that we try to make when we say, hey, certain tools are better in certain situations, so use the right tool for the right thing. This is an example that I did with a company, with one of my clients from Europe. They're a small lending company. They do micro lending, for example, people that need to buy appliances. They for small amounts of money, and they go through a process. For example, this is for auto, up to 30,000 euros, something like that. They go through their dealership. So all the area there, the yellow ones, represent the flow of the work that the customer goes through with the dealer. By the way, the y-axis represents the visibility from the customer's point of view. So the top one represents, this is where we start with the client. I thought it was mine. I'm happy it's yours. So it starts with customer visibility at the very top, and down you start doing things that customers don't see, but are things that our teams, sales developers see, right? So that is all to explain what are the steps that the customer takes with the dealership. And then there is that all the teal color ones represent this client, my client's way of serving now this loan to these clients. They started pulling together all the things that they do in a feature component way, and they had this view. And we started discussing what makes sense for you next. They look into billing. Billing is right here. This one. I think you can't read it. And billing is something that they spend a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of people. It was a group of good developers that was allocated and worked all night and day on that. Billing offered just an opportunity for the clients to be able to see how much money they still owe, to see when is their next billing date, and to be able to download statements. All this is simple. There is a lot of work to keep it, maintain it, and work on it. So they looked into that and they said, why can't we move that to commodity and buy a product that offers billing? Why should we do that? That is something that is so easy to outsource, buy existing product, liberate these developers, and bring them to something that is more useful for us. And what was useful for them was this one, were two. One was credit analysis, and one was rules for the engines. Rules for the engines was the one that, this is where all the information, the logic, the competition, the rates goes. And they really wanted to be quick, fast in changing rates and to being competitive. Like if a competitor changes the rates today, why it takes us 2 months to change our rates? Can we change it the same day and be right there? That meant that from being this long process, they wanted to move that early and start looking at it in a better way to give their business a competitive edge. In the same way with the analysis, with credit analysis, they were looking into this is something that we need to own, we have a better handle on it. because it gives us better choices, better decisions to make. So just by doing the map, just by taking this view with them, we took a step back and they were able now to stop developing on the billing and take those sources, take those people into other sources and develop it where it mattered, where it was more strategic to invest. So this was a good example for them to see how keep developing and keep people busy was not the right thing. Making a decision on where to work, it was the strategic way to go. So I think I'm good with time. I try to go quickly. So we have time for questions. That's all the slides that I have. I really suggest you take further some research with the Wordly maps. It is fascinating. So we can talk more about that or not. But yeah, questions. Yes.
I have a question. So you talked about 4 different types of strategies, and if you are a business owner, do you start with all of the 4? Do you start with one? Depends.
Mm-hmm.
What it depends on.
Well, it depends where you are also in the evolution, right?
Okay.
So if you are in Genesis, you probably need to first look into customer experience. You need to get into the customer. If you look into counter model, do I have all the mandatory things that I need to actually be in the market? Then when you have those, you start evolving into market share. How strategic should I be on the markets to gain that market share?
Right.
So depending where you are in the evolution, you need to look into evolve your strategy and bring more elements into it. Yes?
I am asking a question not related to product,
Okay.
but more related to Wordly Maps, which
Okay.
you love it so much.
Yes.
Have you used it in a sense on agile adoption at companies?
It's a phenomenal question. Yes, I have.
Okay.
I haven't showed it to them because they were not ready to see it. But I
Can we
did
get a
use it for
sneak peek?
myself.
Can we get a sneak peek?
There are online, actually. He has a little book that he has created. It's free for download.
Okay.
And he also has put together a sense of how these practices evolve and where would you start looking for what to bring in a company when they see it for transformation. So for example, you can see there he has like leadership, communication, and he has a series of things there. And he says, well, just processes. Let's look into the practices, right? Just like I said, he said, depending what you're doing, you might be in Agile, you might be here, Lean is a good process here, or Lean Six Sigma there, right? So depending where you are, bring those tools and practices to them. You don't need to go always for Agile if they are in an operational. Maybe they need different tools. So the transformation for them would not be, oh, let's do Scrum every day. No, it would be how to measure better and reduce latency and decision making and dependencies and all of them.
Sorry, where can I find that?
Maybe I'll send you the link.
Okay.
Ken,
Yeah, maybe.
you are all on Slack. Maybe I'll put them on Slack.
Okay.
I'll follow up on that. Yes.
Okay.
But I created one for myself with one of the clients that I work. I didn't show it to them, but it helped me a little bit to understand how to approach my next change that I wanted to create.
Oh, okay.
Can you speak to a little bit about, like, you mentioned the Green Bank and their generic vision of digital,
And the blue bank with the same.
right,
standards.
so can you speak to a little bit about how to bridge, like, sort of that high-level strategy, first of all, getting it clearer, and then how to bring it into teams,
Yeah.
kind of like.
This is where outcomes and OKRs comes in place. Have you heard of OKRs? Yeah. So while think of it like a strategy and think of it like a vision, like this is where we want to go. For example, we want to go to San Francisco, right? The strategy will be like, are we driving? Are we going by train? Are we flying? Like all the options, what ways we're taking. Let's say our strategy is to drive there. OKRs are like your GPS that helps you on how to get there. If you are deviating, it brings you back. It says, well, turn back here. there. There's construction here, go around there. So it helps you stay on the path with the key results that continuously give you feedback into how you're progressing. And OKRs are outcome driven. Again, are not do this, turn left, and then when there's construction, you're stuck. Where do I go now? It's about more guiding you through the way. When you have those outcomes, then you start creating some plans around it, starting with some strategic initiatives. Well, if we're going to go this way, for example, we're going to California, should we go through in New York, or should we go through, I don't know, go all the way to Vancouver and then down? So things like that probably help you a little bit initially where to start and where to what is the first step to take. And based on that, again, the GPS helps you along the way with the directions. And then it's about breaking now this path that we decided to take into smaller pieces and get closer and closer. There is a way to go from a big vision to steps to do it, and everybody needs to have visibility on that. That is the key, because usually leaders set these big goals and then go, okay, go do it now. And for developers or for agile teams, it becomes into, oh, we need to build X, and they don't have that connection of why are we building X. If we go to developers with, we need to solve problem X, they will help you with finding the best solution. This is a long
Back
way to
upwards.
say that there is, yes.
Back upwards.
Yes.
So that we're checking in back
Yes.
upwards as well.
Hey, we went this way, but there is a construction.
What do we do? Or
Oh,
we
okay.
recommend, yeah.
Yes. That's all of those, yes. Back, they shake hands to make sure that we're still on the right path. Yes.
With strategy, we're looking at the longer term, we're looking at the challenges of building one and longer term. How do you keep this long-term strategy relevant when you're going to get more visibility on the challenges, you're going to get new challenges, how do you maintain that and not have strategy that's changing regularly?
Strategy needs to be the North Star. That's why it needs to be not a plan, because then the plan changes. It needs to be the true north that you are aiming for. And you are right, because the more bets you make, the more tries you do, the more hypotheses and experiments that you run, you're going to get those feedbacks, and you're going to see, well, that was not the right thing to do. But that doesn't mean that you need to change strategy. You need to change the way you get in there. And this is where working with hypotheses, continuous delivery, trying things faster, sooner, it makes you smarter, brings you more data in hands. And with this data in hand, now you are able to make better decisions. It's all about having more information in hand to make better decisions. If I want to go back into this, right, the landscape and the climate are going to be the ones that are going to change more often, because as you go further, you're going to see that things will change. And you need to adjust on those, right? And you need to decide and orient in order to now make a decision where you go. So I'd say strategy for a period of time is the true north. Unless you find some really big flaws with your strategy, then yes, stop and look into that. But usually the strategy is the one that stays unchanged, and the plans change on how to get there. Yeah.
What is the process of identifying quantifiable mitigation strategy? For example, in that Uber strategy,
Yeah.
How do you advise one arrives at to challenge reducing the wait time and target condition? What sort of analysis is required once a leadership team has given the vision to the top? How do product managers arrive at those kind of things?
By a lot of conversations, a lot of discussions, and data in hand. The data that you have, the best data that you have in hand, the best analysis that you have. If you don't have it, maybe do some experiments or try something to get the data in hand. But you need to have something in hand when it comes to analytics and numbers that you because, again, this is one of the ways that they decided to move. I'm pretty sure they had others, right? Because if they want to be the cheaper alternative of owning a car, taking public transportation, they chose to reduce the waiting time by less than 5 minutes. But they could have chosen to reduce their costs. Because it's cheaper, right?
No, it's cheaper for the consumer.
Right, for the consumer, so lower the cost of the Uber ride. Every Uber ride is less. So you're saying, yeah, I'm lowering the cost, but now you need more volumes. So you still have created a different problem by that. So I'm pretty sure that there were many options and many data in hand, and that's where even the business decision, business strategy comes in place into saying, well, what are the things that we can do? Where are we? Where are we with the current condition of our product in order to decide we want to go this way with this feature and this way with this feature. So to decide, oops, I'm going wrong way. So to decide to take that is one of the whys in the movement. Now the why and the purpose is the why in the movement itself. It is not a formula, what I'm trying to say. It's more like a conversation and discussion and experimentation and testing to focus you on where to start the next steps.
I could almost say that this is the belief of starters of Uber that will achieve their vision.
It is an hypothesis.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So we said that fundamentally a strategy is an hypothesis. You cannot see the future, right? You can only make some hypotheses and try to see if they are right or not, and then adjust along the way. Am I getting the feeling that I'm good?
Yes.
Okay.
We need to wrap up.
Okay.
Thank you, Ardita, for a
welcome.
very informative session. Our next session is going to be on March 27th, and Troy would be covering reasons forecasts and estimates fail and what to do about it. And also he will be covering data-driven coaching, how to show data that causes action. So we hope to see you
Yeah,
again.
don't miss Troy.
Yeah.
Don't miss Troy.
It's March 25th.
25th?
It's March 25th.
Sorry, March
and it's
25th.
after hours, not at the regular time that we have.
That's it, no,
Is it neurology?
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'm around to talk
Yes.
more.
And we do have the space till 1:30.
Yeah, we have this space.
Okay. So we can meet and mingle.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.